Hello and welcome to S24 Rundown, where we bring you the latest developments and major stories making headlines from across the world and beyond. I am Khadija Mohammed, and here's our news in brief after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. We begin with Nigerian football, where the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, are investigating the use of a 12 billion naira intervention fund released to the Nigerian Football Federation. The money was approved by President Bola Tinubu in January 2024 to settle outstanding salaries, bonuses, and other financial obligations owed to Nigeria's national teams. The investigation became public after the NFF responded to a Freedom of Information request seeking details of how the fund was spent. In a later dated August 18, the Federation said it could not release the requested financial record because the matter is already being investigated by the EFCC and ICPC. The NFF also said all documents relating to the request are currently with the two anti-corruption agencies. However, the Federation did not disclose the specific transactions that triggered the investigation or whether any officials had been questioned. The 12 billion naira intervention was intended to clear several outstanding obligations, including 15 months of salaries owed to Super Eagles coaches, players' allowances, and payments due to the senior men's and women's teams and the under-20 side. The Senate Committee on Sport has also summoned officials of the NFF and the National Sport Commission for an emergency meeting. And meanwhile, at least 52 bodies have been buried following a boat accident in Goro Town, Goronyo local government area of Sokoto State. The victims were traveling to their farms when the boat capsized at about 8:30 Wednesday morning while crossing a waterway. More than 70 people were reportedly on board, including several children, most of them girls. Among the victims were 11 members of one family. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, says 52 bodies have so far been recovered and buried. However, officials say the exact number of people who were on the boat is still being determined. Rescue operations are continuing with local deliveries and residents searching the water for anyone who may still be missing. The village head of Gorel Malam Aliyu Nabamasi survived the accident. He said the boat capsized after reaching the middle on the waterway. He also recalled struggling to stay afloat before grabbing a sack that had floated to the surface and eventually been rescued. Residents and officials have raised concern about overcrowding and possible mechanical problems. A member of the Sokoto State House of Assembly, Nasiru Adamu, said the boat operator had tried to prevent passengers from overcrowding the vessel, but the passengers reportedly ignored his warning. Residents are now calling on the government to provide a safer means of crossing the waterway, including the construction of a bridge. And now to Akwa Ibom State, where the government is planning a major empowerment program targeting 110,000 women across the state. Governor Umo Eno announced the plan during the launch of the federal government Rural Women Empowerment Initiative and the distribution of liquefied petroleum gas cylinders in Oyo. Under the state program, at least 300 women will be selected from each ward across 31 local government areas. And the empowerment program is expected to begin in October. Governor Eno says the initiative will be implemented through cooperative societies and is designed to help women establish and expand businesses. He also described women's empowerment as a major part of his administration Arise agenda. The governor also welcomed the federal government LPG distribution program, which targets 27,000 households in the state. He added that access to cleaner cooking gas would help reduce household energy costs while protecting women and children from the dangers associated with traditional cooking fuel. The Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas Ekperikpe Ekpo, said the program is part of broader effort to promote women's economic inclusion and expand access to cleaner cooking energy. And from Akwa Ibom, we head to the United Kingdom, where a Nigerian social media personality has received a rather unusual honor. The Nigeria in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, has congratulated Nigerian-born nurse and social media personality Bemi Orojogu, popularly known as London Boss Auntie. A London bus stop has been named in her honor. Orojogun became popular on social media for her videos featuring London's iconic red buses. Her content has attracted millions of views and earned her a large following. NIDCOM chairman Abike Debiri Erewa described the recognition as a remarkable achievement and a source of pride for Nigeria and the Nigerian diaspora. Dabiri Erewa said Orojongu's journey demonstrates how passion, authenticity, and positive representation can create an impact beyond Nigeria. Orojogun has lived in the United Kingdom for more than 3 decades. She recently announced the honor on social media and thanked Transport for London for recognizing her connection with the city transport community. The recognition has also drawn attention to the contribution of Nigerians living and working in the diaspora. And now let's turn to the United Nations, where the race to replace Secretary General Antonio Guterres is gaining momentum. The UN Security Council is holding its second informal poll to gauge support for candidates seeking to lead the world body. Guterres will complete his second 5-year term on December 31st, 2026. Costa Rica's Rebecca Greenspan emerged as the frontrunner after the first informal vote held last month. But she faces competition from several other candidates. They include Argentina's Rafael Grossi, who currently heads the UN nuclear watchdog, former Chilean President Michelle Bachelet, Ecuador's Mario Fernando Espinosa, Guyana's Caroline Rodriguez Burkert, Uganda Olara Otuni, and former Senegalese President Macky Sall. Ecuador's Yvonne Ebaki has also joined the race. The process is closely watched because the Security Council's 5 permanent members, Britain, China, France, Russia, and the United States, have veto powers. A candidate needs at least 9 votes in the 15-member council and must avoid a veto from any of the 5 permanent members. Diplomats say Friday's poll is unlikely to produce a clear winner. The race could continue for several weeks with more candidates potentially entering the contest. And finally, a plane crash at a remote U.S. Air Force site in Alaska has claimed the lives of everyone on board. The civilian contracted aircraft crashed at the airport serving long-range radar site in Cape Newham in southwestern Alaska. According to the Alaskan Command, rescuers who reached the crash site confirmed there were no survivors. The military has not yet released the exact number or identities of those killed. Officials say the names will be released after their families have been notified. The purpose of the flight and what those on board were doing at the radar site have not been disclosed. Also, an investigation into the cause of the crash is now underway. Alaskan Command Chief Lieutenant General Robert Davis described the incident as a devastating loss for the military community and the communities served by personnel at the site. And those are the major stories at this hour. Stay with us for more news update on analysis. And now to business update with Mariam.
Good day and welcome to the business update. I am Mariam Dalhatsu. Here are the details. First up, the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, EFCC, has arraigned 2 men over the alleged unlawful sale of access credentials linked to the First City Monument Bank, FCMB. Prosecutors told the Federal High Court in Lagos that one of the suspects allegedly received $15,000 in exchange for sensitive bank access information. One defendant pleaded guilty, while the other pleaded not guilty. The case has been adjourned as the EFCC says it remains committed to tackling cybercrime and protecting Nigeria's financial system. Moving on to the foreign exchange markets, the Naira is showing signs of stability against the US dollar. At the official markets, the currency is trading at around 1,349 Naira to $1, while the parallel market range remains slightly higher. Analysts say improved dollar liquidity and the central bank's reform have helped narrow the gap between official and unofficial markets. However, exchange rates may still vary depending on banks and bureau de change operators. And in another positive development, Nigerians' energy inflation has dropped to 4.37% in July, its lowest level in 4 months. The latest figures from the National Bureau of Statistics indicate that the cost of energy is rising at a slower pace than in the previous months. Economists say the decline could ease transportation and production costs for businesses if the trend continues. However, they note that many Nigerians may still face pressure from food, housing prices, which remain key drivers at the overall cost of living. And that's all for your business update. Khadija, over to you.
Welcome back. Up next is S24 Report coming to you after the break.
Atiku Abubakar has remained one of the most influential figures in Nigerian politics for over 3 decades, serving as Vice President of Nigeria between 1999 and 2007, making several attempts at the presidency. His political journey has attracted both strong support and public backlash. Now seeking another opportunity to lead the country under the platform of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, Atiku's ambition has sparked fresh conversation ahead of the 2027 presidential election. At S24, we put his candidature to test by asking Nigerians if he should be contesting after several attempts. Stay with us.
With what he has, okay, you know, of you contesting, you contest and contest again and contest, just like what Nelson Mandela did. He contested and contested and contested, but one day he won the election.
In my opinion, I don't think Atiku should be contesting because Atiku and his boys, they think Nigeria is a personal property where it's his birthright to become the president. I think it's long overdue. He should give up.
Personally, as a Nigerian, he has the right to contest because the constitution makes it very clear that everybody can contest. But personally, I don't support him.
He should not contest again. He should step down.
Don't contest for America and don't become vice president under President Obasanjo. I'm not in support of any contesting because the way Nigeria is going.
There are rumors peddling around that he's being sponsored by the colonial powers to disrupt other people who have a chance of vying for position because of his influence and because of his influence. He has the power to actually move crowd and he can actually destabilize whatever opposition that is out there to actually take over the incumbent.
A reason for loss of country is because after given the situation in the country right now, you should have read the mood, body language. Nigerians are battling with a lot of problems.
And they hear about Atiku. So I don't think God is not favorable, frankly speaking. So I think he should step down.
So Atiku, if you want contest, make him contest. But I don't think he should go on to contest. He should give another people a chance.
And those are the views of Nigerians on whether Atiku Abubakar should be making another attempt at the presidency. As the 2027 election draws closer, the conversation about Nigeria's political future continues. And to you watching, what do you think? Should Atiku Abubakar be contesting again? Do share your thoughts. Udokan Godspar reporting for S24 Television.
Welcome to Political Arena here on S24 Television. Nigeria is gradually approaching the 2027 general elections. Political realignments are taking shape across the country. One of the biggest developments in recent times is the emergence of a political alliance involving Peter Obi and Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso under the platform of National Democratic Congress, NDC, coming on a joint ticket. Supporters describe the alliance as a formidable form that will challenge the ruling party in the forthcoming general elections in Nigeria, while APC believe that the coalition still faces some serious challenges and political opponents are yet there to face their own electoral hurdles. Can this partnership truly replace the Nigerian political system in 2027? What does this alliance mean from the opposition? Is Peter Obi and Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso willing to work in 2027? Joining us this afternoon is Mansur Umar Kurugu, spokesperson of Konkwasiya Movement. Mr. Mansur, welcome to Political Arena here on S24 Television.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abakar. It's a pleasure to be here.
I can see from your appearance, you are actually a diehard of Konkwasiya.
Well, yeah, you're right about that, actually. I was almost being made in so many ways by Konkwasiya Movement, starting from my university degree where I studied in the university established by Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso in Kano State. It was called Kano University of Science and Technology those days. Now Aliko Dangote University of Science and Technology. And then, of course, after performing very well, because you have to do your part, I got a scholarship as well.
That's
under
nice.
the administration of Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso to have become a pilot. And to have experienced a life
Captain
from
Mansur.
a different perspective. So that's where the captain came into being. So yeah, I'm not only a diehard member of Konkwasiya Movement, but literally I am like a son and breed of that particular movement. And of course, I'm seeing myself among the drivers of the movement now and in the future.
So based on the little interaction we had here, you mean you are, when it comes to politics, you have ideologically driven?
Absolutely, yeah. I strongly believe that politics should be for the people, and it should be able to address the critical needs, fundamental needs of mankind, not just for some few
Self-centered
individuals.
politician.
Yeah, not self-centered, but people-centered politics. So
Well,
yeah, that
thank
is
you.
why, despite being everything, I find Konkwasiya Movement as a platform
And a
that
home.
really align with my own belief,
Interests.
interests, and ideas. Yeah.
Captain Mansur, thank you so much for honoring our invitation.
It's a pleasure.
Despite your tight schedule.
Yeah, it's okay.
Let's begin with our topic. One of the biggest political story, like how significant is the alliance of Senator Rabiu Musa and Peter Obi?
I would say it's very significant, especially in our today's politics, where we have seen a lot of sentiment taking place, a lot of
politicking.
Yeah, politicking going on, a lot, and actually some lack of sensitivities to our diversity, if I can put it that way, by some of the opposite parties that are, we can call them ruling party in the country. I mean, and this kind of alliance between Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso and Peter Obi, or you can call it from the southern part of the country and northern part of the country, or you can call it in a different kind of diversity
Angle.
It is actually a kind of inclusive approach in ensuring that every part of this country and every individual within this country is being represented and their interests are being respected. We are very sensitive. We are very intentional about ensuring we have a formidable platform where we are not only focused about ourselves or marginalizing any part of the country or group of individuals. So yeah, I can see this as a formidable platform
Alliance.
and an alliance that could provide a credible option and alternative for Nigerians. Yeah.
Did your party copy from the ruling party? Because we knew how the ruling party came in 2015. It was a coalition, a merger that happened between the southern part of the country and the northern part of the country that brought led President Buhari into power.
So we are not going to say we copied from we copied from APC, but because we were part of those that established the APC.
That was then.
Yeah, then we were part of the coalition. If you remember, our leader, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, was from PDP. And they were those that represented that red part of the APC. If you look at the logo of the APC and all of that, you'll see that red there. That represents PDP. So we were not the only, we are not only doing the merger or doing a coalition for the first time in 2023, 2026, 2027 election. But it was something that we have tried in those days. But however, the issues and the needs are different. Those days, we were trying to chase away PDP because of their failure for one single area, one single sector. Then, there are other areas, but the key sector that they felt on was insecurity. And then we just felt like, wait, why not? We are part of this government, but they are not doing well. So let us try and explore a different alternative and give Nigerians a different option. Unfortunately, now what we are seeing is beyond insecurity. You can talk of everything. I have never in my entire life, in my entire analysis and assessment of how governance works, I have never seen an administration that felt squarely in every angle like this particular administration of APC. I cannot put my hand on any single sector where I would say this sector got better in terms of the delivery for a good governance and better life to Nigerians. So if there is any time for credible politicians to come together and provide a credible platform or alternative for Nigerians, this is the right time. And not only them, us as Nigerians, we are the major, recipient of the impact of this failed government. So it is not only the work of the credible or the, big wings, like we call them. It's not only their work, but it is the work of all Nigerians. Except if somebody is just sitting in his house and feeling comfortable about everything that is going on. But so far, you are Nigerian like all of us, and you are
feeling the impact.
You must feel the impact, even if you're rich, because the same resources that you could have used to utilize and have your kind of way of life.
Now you have to double it or even more.
Much more than that. So it's not even a matter of we're just doing a coalition.
Reality.
It's a matter of survival. I call it this way. It's a matter of survival. If you really want to have a Nigeria that works for everyone, if you really want to have a purposeful leadership that seeks to benefit ordinary man, because in this particular administration, the only people benefiting are the big politicians, especially governors and those around them. That is why you can see, while every day ordinary Nigerians are moving away from APC, our governors now, they are moving into APC. Why? Because the government is only working for them, not for the masses.
Sir, don't you think that maybe the way they are trooping into the ruling party, they felt like the government of APC is doing well?
Obviously, we know they are not doing well because, look, doing well in government is going to be assessed by certain indicators, like the quality of life, the quality of education, the opportunity for young persons, the ease of doing businesses. All of those things are what you now bring together to know whether the government is performing well or not. Think of the inflation. We are talking of how many percentage we are now. We stopped even counting, right? We have never seen a moment where the exchange rate have reached its level like it is now, like within this particular administration. I never imagined in my life an oil-producing country like Nigeria, at any point of time, you would be able to buy a fuel at over 1,000 naira. That is exactly what we are seeing. When this particular government, from the last 3 years to date, came into being, we were buying it at 100 plus, less than 200 naira.
And it was that very day that they made that declaration.
Not very year, that very day. The very moment the man became the president, His Excellency Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he declared immediately that he withdrew the fuel subsidy without a framework on how to mitigate the impact of doing that on ordinary man. And since that day, Nigeria was awakened. And I want to make sure that I hope that Nigerians now will be awake and reclaim our country by ourselves.
This goes down to my next question. Some people say that this partnership is built more on defeating APC than shaping ideologies. Is that true?
So what is the difference between the two? Because if you are saying shaping ideology of who?
Nigerians.
Look, what Nigerians need at this moment is a better governance. Whether you have ideology that they align with or they do not align with your ideology, what people need at the moment is a better government that speaks to the people, government that speaks to the need of the people. But again, if you're talking about ideology, I have never seen any political movement that has as much ideological pillars like OK movement. Because obedient, they have a movement. That is an ideological movement. Obedient. Then Konkosia movement is also an ideological movement. And that is why we even stand a stronger chance.
Of winning in 2027.
Exactly. Because look, if I may ask you, do you think in this entire country, there would be anybody in their normal sense that on their own, without incentivization, can go out and vote for APC again?
Well, these are the questions we need to ask Nigerians.
Well, you are a Nigerian as well. And I mean, I don't know. I don't understand how can someone in their normal sense would want to bring back APC into our country. But these two movements now, the people that are going to vote in this movement, they are spending their own money for the victory of this particular movement. So that is what makes it different. It is ideologically driven. It is purposeful leadership driven. So if people are seeing it as where change is going to come, the kind of change where they would be able to contribute into ensuring it happens. Not only being a passive members of the country, no, being among the drivers of this change, even after winning the election.
Captain Mansour, we have to go for a quick break. When we return, I'm going to ask you about your principle.
Okay, please.
Let's go for a short break. When we return, the conversation will continue. Back from that break. Remember, this is Political Arena here on S24. My guest is Captain Mansour Umar Kurugu, the spokesperson of Konkosia movement. Captain Mansour, some people are accusing your principal of decamping from this political party to another political party.
Yeah.
And you call your movement is one of the movements that have ideology. I believe
Nigeria is a country known for its diverse culture and tribes. This is Waja tribe, a community fueled by craftsmanship, courage, and identity. Every garment they wear, every dance they perform, and every tool they preserve tells the story of a people determined to protect their heritage.
Wannan farin kayan mun gada tun daga kakannin kakanni, wanda mu a al'adarmu na Waja ba mu taba mu sayi yadi a kasuwa cewa wai mu je mu mori kayan turawa ba. Mu da kanmu Allah ya ba basira tun asalin kakanmu. Ya tsinco wannan auduga daga bakin tsuntsu wanda Allah ya sa tsuntsun ya ɗauko kwayan auduga ya jefa gonansa. Da ya zo ya ga wani abu fari-fari ya fita gonansa. Ce wannan abun kam ya ne yana lallaka kamar zai zama wani abu. Sai ya ɗan ɗauka ya fizgi kwayan. Sai ya ga abin ya zama kamar kyalle. Sai Allah ya nuna masa basiran cewa to bari in wallafa wannan abu mana ya zama kaman ko zare, tunda in nayi haka yakan yi zare. Haka yayi wannan al'amari sai ya mai da shi kaman zaren. Ko waje sai ya ce to wannan abun in Allah ya da sai nayi injin ɗinsa. Da yayi injin ɗin sai ya sassaka injin ɗin nan sai ya fara sassaka wannan zare-zare ɗin. To sai Allah ya ba shi hikima na cewa in ka hada kana iya ka saka farin waja.
For the Waja people, clothing is more than protection for the weather. It is a living connection between the present generation and the wisdom of the ancestors.
Wannan kariya, lokacin da bawaje shi zai je farauta ko zai je daji, wannan abun idan har ka ɗauri wanda ya kamata, ɗaya yana kiwonce batun yunwa. Ko da yunwa yana daminka, za ka ɗan yunwa zai ɗan sassautu. Na biyu, kibiya. Kafin kibiya ya fuda wannan abun ya je har ga cikinka, ƙarfin kibiyan ya rabu. Ko da zai same ka da dafi, sauran dafi za su kwanta a wannan abun. Wanda zai ya nuna cewa idan har aka je aka same ka a maza aka cire kibiyan nan, to in aka baka magani za ka warke cikin lokaci.
Whether practical or symbolic, every object carries generation of stories and beliefs.
Idan wani abun hidima ya same mu na farin ciki, za a yi a fita da kayan nan, a je a taya mutumin nan da wasanni, a nuna kayan al'adunmu wanda kakanninmu na tun farko suka fito da shi. Na biyu, idan an je wani farauta ko an kashe babban nama ko an yi lokacin yaki, idan wani jarumi ya yi farauta mai kyau, za a zo a fita da wannan kaya, a je a kwana ana rawa, ana taya shi murna. A yi ruwa, a dafa ruwa, ana ci abinci ta kowane yi. Zai yi waka wanda ya kamanci jarumi, wato masu farauta wanda suka yi jarumi. Yara wani na ba buri su kwan yare kwala ne kwalati ma bu jogo kui ma buri ya wani tina do kwalwa yari wuri buri kui daidai kali ta bai janga. Kuricha mole do do ne bakoro bo loge ne ngeda kuni jangna ya lai.
Music is the heartbeat of Waja culture. Through rhythm, dance, and songs, history is remembered, and every generation learns the values of the community.
Mashin nan wanda za ana tafiya da shi, za a dauki jarumi a wuya. Wani zai yi rike wannan mace yana jan gaba. Wannan idan an harbo kibiya, za a tada kibiya da shi, ba zai same ni ba.
Wannan muna kira shitiga, wannan shitiga, wanda mu ba waje muna iya mu je gona abin daji wajen farauta da shi. Bi ma'ana idan ka harbi ba fada ba fa, ba fada yaki ba, a'a. Wannan ba a yi shi don mu yi yaki da shi ba, amma mu je farauta. Da zaran ka harbi nama, lokacin da ka je ka same shi yana haɓaka zai kaman na dafin ya kama shi, kana iya ka sare shi, kana iya ka kafa masa ainihin ba.
Security forces have intensified operations against criminal elements across several parts of the country, with police clearing suspected criminal hideouts in Kogi, troops rescuing kidnapped victims in the northwest, and the NSCDC stepping up its fight against illegal mining. Welcome to Security Update on S24 Rundown. I'm world.At, and here are the stories dominating Nigeria's security landscape today. To start with, the Kogi State Police Command says it has intensified bush clearance operations across forest locations linking Kababunu, Obajana, and Lokoja. The August 20th operation involved the police, military, vigilantes, and other auxiliary forces. The team cleared the Daji 2 forest zone and Amos camp, abandoned settlements suspected to have been used as criminal hideouts. The police said signs of recent movement along routes towards the Oyo forest axis suggested criminals had fled ahead of the advancing security forces. The command says the operation has boosted residents' confidence, with some farmers returning to their farmlands, while assuring that patrols, intelligence gathering, and bush clearance operations will continue. Now, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps says it will sustain its crackdown on illegal mining and dismantle criminal networks benefiting from the activities. The commander of the mining marshals, John Onoja, said illegal mining has become a serious security threat, with proceeds potentially funding banditry, kidnapping, and terrorism. He said the Corps is using intelligence-led operations to arrest and prosecute offenders while targeting the financial networks sustaining criminal groups. And in a fight against drug trafficking, the NDLEA has opposed the bail application of 10 suspects arrested over an alleged methamphetamine laboratory in Ogun State, valued at about 480 billion naira. The suspects face charges of producing and trafficking methamphetamine and possessing precursor chemicals. The agency described them as an organized drug network and said 3 are Mexican nationals, while the alleged financier and organizer is a dual Nigerian-Mexican citizen. The NDLEA also cited flight risk concerns if they are released. Justice Akintayo Aluko has adjourned ruling on the bail application until September 2nd.
And finally, in the northwest, troops of Operation Fansanyama have rescued 10 kidnapped civilians in separate operations across Sokoto, Kebbi, and Zamfara states. In Sokoto, troops repelled a suspected terrorist ambush and rescued 5 victims, recovering 2 motorcycles. 3 others were rescued in Kebbi, while 2 were freed in Zamfara, where they sustained gunshot wounds and were evacuated for treatment. The military says efforts to track the fleeing terrorists are ongoing, urging residents to provide credible information. That's the latest on security update. As you go about your activities, stay alert, stay informed, and remember that credible information can help security agencies prevent crime and protect lives. Bye for now.
Technology is moving beyond gadgets and apps. Countries are now investing heavily in the infrastructure, data, and systems that will shape their digital future. From Nigeria's push for data control to Africa's drive for better connectivity and Brazil's big AI investment, here are the latest tech updates. Nigeria is taking steps to gain more control over its infrastructure. NITDA and the Budget Office have inaugurated a joint committee to drive the National Sovereign Cloud Initiative. The initiative brings together local cloud infrastructure, funding, and cybersecurity with the aim of reducing dependence on foreign systems for critical government information. And as more public services move online and artificial intelligence become more important, having secure infrastructure to store and process national data is becoming increasingly important. Moving on, the Nigerian Army is deepening its investment in locally made communication technology through Pronto Microsystems Technologies. The military-owned company is scaling up the production of communication equipment, including systems used for secure and reliable communication. The bigger goal is to reduce dependence on imported technology while building local skills and manufacturing capacity. Now, from across Africa, the focus is on making sure more people can get connected. African ICT ministers have finalized the Abuja Declaration on Meaningful Connectivity following the African Telecommunication Union Summit in Abuja. The commitment focuses on expanding network access to rural and underserved communities. But connectivity is not just about having a network nearby. It also means making internet access affordable and ensuring people have the devices and skills needed to use it. The move is aimed at closing Africa's digital gap and making sure more communities can benefit from services, education, and online opportunities. Now, while Africa moves to connect more people, Brazil is preparing for the next big race, artificial intelligence. Brazil has announced plans to invest $2.3 billion, raise about $444 million in artificial intelligence. The investment will support major supercomputing projects, including both American and Chinese technology companies. One of the projects is expected to use NVIDIA technology, while another involves Huawei and Fleetech. Brazil wants to build the computing power needed to support AI development and strengthen its position in the global AI race. From Nigeria protecting its data to Africa expanding connectivity and Brazil building powerful AI systems, one thing is clear. The technology race is no longer just about who has the best apps. It is about who controls the infrastructure behind the technology. And that's your tech update. Stay connected, stay informed, and keep up with the technology shaping our future. I am Gladys Asuko.
The entertainment scene is buzzing, with fresh music releases and a major Hollywood milestone, from Victoni's highly anticipated sophomore album to Princess Wanda's new EP and Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey making box office history. Welcome to today's entertainment update. Nigerian music star Victoni has released his highly anticipated sophomore album, Star Life, today. The 15-track project follows the success of his 2024 debut album, Stubborn, and gives fans a closer look at what the singer has been working on since then. The album is executive produced by Shay, Loyal, and Elo Chukwu Ibuba, and feature collaborations with some of Nigeria's biggest names. Benson joins Victoni on Hoodies, while Black Bones and YKB appears on the title track, Star Life. Other featured artists include Baby Boy AV on Pino, Young John on Armed and Dangerous, and Fola on Twin. With tracks including Sleek, Too Fresh, Fine, and Too Lit, expectations are high as fans finally get to hear the full project. Meanwhile, UK-based Nigerian Afrofusion artist Princess Wanda is stepping into a new chapter with her 7-track EP, Magic Hour, also released today. The project blends Afrobeats, Afro R&B, and contemporary soul, exploring themes of love, desire, confidence, vulnerability, and self-discovery. Magic Hour features previously released songs including Fire, Body Killer, Darling, and Shooby-Doo, alongside new tracks like Down For You and Desire. Produced by Mr. Mars and Indigo Beats. With guitar contributions from Fioki, the EP promises a soulful and cinematic sound. The release follows Princess Wanda's debut album, Fantasy Fair, and several international sync placements, including appearances on Harlem and Young Love. Finally, in Hollywood, Christopher Nolan's epic, The Odyssey, has reached a major box office milestone. The film has reportedly earned approximately $1.352 billion worldwide, surpassing Deadpool and Wolverine to become the highest-grossing R-rated film of all time. The achievement also makes the film Nolan's highest-grossing film, overtaking The Dark Knight Rises. And that's a wrap on today's update. With new sounds in Nigeria and beyond, to a record-breaking Hollywood epic, it has been a busy week in the entertainment industry. Victoria and Princess Wanda are giving us music to enjoy for the weekend. I am Lenus Kuyet. Thanks for watching.
In Nigeria can begin with small and everyday choices that reduce waste and protect the environment. Plastic bags are common across the country, but many end up blocking drainage systems and polluting our environment. According to the Ogun State Commissioner for Environment, Ola Oresonya, Nigeria generates over 32 million tons of solid waste annually, with plastics accounting for about 17% of that total. However, switching to reusable cloth bag is a simple way to cut down on plastic waste and keep our streets cleaner. Food waste is also a major issue. Research done by the Triple Green Environmental Development Foundation shows that over 50% of household waste in Nigerian cities are organic food waste. These items, like cloth bags, solar lamp, refillable water bottles, compost bins, and efficient stoves, are affordable, practical, and available in Nigeria. Together, they make up a lifestyle that supports communities and protects the environment. In the end, sustainability is about making smart choices every day. It is also about saving money, protecting the environment, and building a healthier future for Nigeria. Choose sustainability today.
Hello and welcome to Sports Update. I am Udokan Godspa, bringing you the latest from the world of sports. Let's get into today's stories. We begin in Nigeria, where questions are being raised over the management of a major government intervention fund. The EFCC and ICPC have commenced investigations into the utilization of 12 billion naira released to the Nigerian Football Federation in 2024 to clear outstanding wages, bonuses, and other payments owed to the Nigerian national teams. Some officials linked to the matter have reportedly been invited by investigators, provided statements, and placed on administrative bail while the investigation continues. The developments follow the Freedom of Information request seeking records showing how the money was used. The NFF declined to release the document, saying the fund is already subject to investigation by both anti-corruption agencies. No one has been found guilty of wrongdoing, but investigators will now be looking closely at how the 12 billion naira was utilized. And from question of the pitch to a Nigerian making his mark in Europe, Tolu Arokodare came off the bench for Ajax against Sion in the Conference League playoff and made an immediate impact. The Nigerian striker scored and provided an assist, directly contributing to 2 goals and helping Ajax secure victory. It was a huge come-over for Arokodare, showing his ability to change a game and giving Ajax another attacking option in Europe. And from one Nigeria making an impact to one of football's biggest legends making an extraordinary return, Ronaldinho is back to professional football at 46. The Brazilian, who retired in 2015, has joined Italian third division side Ravenna 11 years after his last match. The 2002 World Cup winner and 2005 Ballon d'Or recipient says he wants to help Ravenna win while also having a personal target of scoring his 300 club career goal. Whether he plays will depend on the coach, but Ronaldinho says he feels fit and believes the milestone would make his comeback even more beautiful. And finally, Tottenham are making a major statement in the transfer market. Spurs have agreed a deal worth up to £85 million for Manchester City winger Savinho, with £75 million upfront and another £10 million in potential bonuses. The 22-year-old made 53 appearances for City, but started just 7 Premier League matches last season. Tottenham have been interested since last summer, and the deal could make Savinho City's record outgoing transfer, surpassing the package for Julian Alvarez. And with Spurs still pursuing Omar Mamouche, their attacking rebuild may not be finishing yet. And that's a wrap on today's Sport Updates. Coming up next is Pidgin News with Shukra.
Have you ever said yes when every part of you wanted to say no? Or agreed to something you didn't like just to avoid disappointing someone? If that sounds familiar, you might be a people pleaser. A people pleaser is someone who constantly puts other people's needs, feelings, and approval ahead of their own. This is far from being selfless, so don't mix it up. Now, being kind, helpful, and considerate is a good thing, though. The problem begins when helping others comes at the cost of your own happiness, peace, or well-being. People pleasers often struggle to say no. They may apologize excessively, avoid conflicts at all costs, and feel responsible for making everyone else happy. For example, imagine you're exhausted after a long day, but a friend asks for a favor. Instead of explaining that you need to rest, you immediately agree because you're afraid they might think you are selfish. That's people pleasing. Many people don't become people pleasers overnight. Sometimes it develops from childhood experiences or desire to be accepted, fear of rejection, low self-esteem, or growing up in an environment where approval felt like something that had to be earned. The challenge is that people pleasing can be emotionally draining. You spend so much energy making everyone else comfortable that you forget to check in with yourself. Over time, this can lead to stress, resentment, burnout, and even a loss of personal identity. The truth is, saying no doesn't make you rude. Setting boundaries doesn't make you selfish either. And disagreeing with people who doesn't make you a bad person. Healthy relationships are built on honesty, respect, and balance, not constant self-sacrifice. So now let me ask you, yes, you. Are you helping people because you genuinely want to? Or because you're afraid of what might happen if you don't?
Martha, please help me.
No. What? Because there's a big difference. Being kind is a strength, but losing yourself to keep everyone else happy is not. And sometimes, the most important person you need to stop disappointing is yourself.
Wetin dey happen, my country people? I don't come again with another set of latest story of things wey dey sup for Naija and Obodo Oyibo. Make we start with football matter, as wahala dey happen for Nigerian football as the anti-corruption agency EFCC and ICPC don start to investigate how dem take spend 12 billion naira wey suppose be intervention fund. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu bin approve the money for January 2024, make dem use and clear their gbese like Super Eagles coach's salary, players' allowance, and other national team money. The kasala come burst after the Nigerian Football Federation (NFF) reply person wey ask them for freedom of information on how them they use the money. NFF come say make them no vex, so say them no fit release the record because EFCC and ICPC don't carry all the paper go. Meanwhile, the Senate Committee on Sports don't summon NFF and National Sports Commission people, make them come explain themselves for emergency meeting and how they take spend the money. And they reach our here say tragedy been happen for Sokoto as at least 52 people die for one boat capsize for Gorau town, Gonroyo local government. The people been go farm on Wednesday morning when the boat turned over for middle of water. Over 70 people, mostly children, plus 11 family members from one family they inside that boat. National Emergency Management Agency, where we sabi as name as self-confirm am say them don't recover 52 bodies and then don't bury them, while divers still they search water to see whether anybody still remain. Survivors and leaders they complain say the boat overload and people refuse to listen to warnings, even as they beg government make them build bridge or provide safer boat options for them. And another good news they reach our here from Akwa Ibom State as the government they plan massive empowerment program for over 110,000 women. Governor Umo Eno talked this one when he been launched the federal government's rural women program and share cooking gas cylinder for Uyo. Under the plan, at least 300 women go commute from each ward across the 31 local government areas, and everything will start from October through cooperative societies to help women grow their business. The Minister of Petroleum for Resources Gas, Ekperibe Eko, also praised the Clean Cooking Gas Initiative, where been target about 27,000 households to protect women and pikin from smoke hazards. Recognition don't land for one Nigerian with the diaspora as Nigerians in Diaspora Commission Indicom celebrate Nigerian-born nurse and social media star Bemi Orogunju, where people sabi well as London bus auntie. Them just name one London bus stop after her. Orogunju gained fame online as she make sweet and better video with people been like way about London red buses where they gather millions of views. Indicom chairman Abike Dabiri Erewa Hela say she make Nigeria proud way and she be better picking through her consistency and positive vibe after living in UK for over 30 years. Grace Safety. And people they rush to replace Secretary General Guterres. The contest to succeed UN Antonio Guterres, whose tenure the end on this December 31st, 2026, don't enter another level as UN Security Council holds second informal poll for Costa Rica person Rebecca Grinsen-Pan, and now she be the front runner. But after herself, she gets serious competition from another strong candidates like Argentina Rafael Grossi, Michelle Bachelet from Chile, and former Senegal President Macky Sall. To win am, person must get at least 9 votes and make sure none of those 5 permanent members, Britain, China, France, Russia, and USA use veto power, cancel am. Diplomats say everything will still take time before they finally choose one person. And finally, on our news desk today, sad news they reach us as plane crash don't happen for remote US Air Force site for Cape Newman, southwestern Alaska, and nobody survived the tragedy. The civilian contracted aircraft crash for airports where they don't serve long-range radar sites. Alaskan Command talks say rescue team reach ground and confirm say everybody wey dey inside die. Although military never release names or total number of people wey die until they first inform their family members first. Investigation they continue to know wetin caused the crash. And my people, now here we go end our story today. We go see you next time. We can enjoy our weekend.
Thank you, Shukra, for that version of our news. And this brings us to the end of S24 News Rundown. Do join us next time. And remember to follow us on all our social media handle at S24 Television for more updates and breaking stories. I am Khadija Mohammed, and bye for now.